Welcome, Vibin. How are you doing?
Very good.
Great to have you here. So this is your 20 or 15 years of Jitex?
Yes, it's close to almost 2 decades.
Wow.
Yeah, it's close to 2 decades in Jitech. So yeah, great to be here. Just to introduce myself, my name is Vibin Shaju. I'm heading the EMEA solution engineering team at Trellix.
Thank you, Vibin. Thank you. We are excited to have you here at the Ingram Micro Jitex 2024 booths.
Sure.
A great welcome to you. Just to give you an introduction of myself, my name is Sriganesh Prasad. I work with Ingram Micro as a pre-sales solution engineer for Trellix and SkyHigh. So great to have you here, knowing you for all the last close to 10 years now.
Good to know you too. Yeah.
Welcome. So just sort of, sharing your views and your expertise on various topics today, which is impacting our world
Sure.
as cybersecurity practitioners. So just to start off, how do you feel about Trellix, especially as part of the current scenario in the market of Gulf, and especially for Jitex, what do you?
Yeah.
have to
So although Trellix is a 3-year-old brand, we've been in the region for the last 2 decades with different names, McAfee and FireEye. So the two organization which is pretty popular in the region has come together and become Trellix. And yes, we've been very focused in the UAE market, Saudi market, rest of the Gulf, and it's a very key region for us in EMEA. And happy to be here in another Jitex and talking about our technologies.
Yeah, I think you must have seen a lot of the legacy that McAfee had, and now what's Trellix, and even much before that, you were part of the company which McAfee acquired, and then you must have seen it all. So it's amazing amount of experience to share, right? So
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Coming to the present day, the most impactful of all the things that have happened in the last few days is the CrowdStrike outage, right? July 19th, I was in the airport to catch a plane. And because we are in Dubai, things move so fast and very efficiently. Thank God I did not face a super delay like how rest of my relatives or friends had a delay about a couple of hours. That's it. But the entire organizations across the world, individuals were impacted. So, what's the outcome that CrowdStrike outage to the industry? What's the impact that has had on the industry, and how do you see that?
Yeah,
From
it was a big event, right? And it was a wake up call, I would say, for enterprises and obviously some vendors also. I think one thing what we see, we've been certainly busy. We were with our customers explaining our way of doing such technologies, and we've been. One thing what we see after the incident is the part how customers are more looking at resilient architecture. So there was always a trend about looking at the features, functionalities on evaluating a product. But now we see customers more looking at the resilience part of it. How resilient is your technology? What happens if something is fail? How do you do the testing of technology? So the resiliency part has been more tested on evaluating our technology. And the second thing is about being more transparent, or more from a vendor side. We need to be more transparent as vendors to our customers. How do we use these technologies? What are the modules present? How is the utilization? What is the fault tolerance of these technologies? So these has been seen more now in evaluations than before. It was all about feature and functionalities, and it was a race for that. I think this incident let everyone to take a back step and understand the overall architecture they use in their organizations, and take the right approach between resiliency and functionality. So that's a change what we see recently after the outage.
Yeah, I have one more thing that I personally came across when I was trying to read about what happened when the RCA came out and so on. One thing good about knowing Trellix so closely is I realized that this was something very not in front of the customer so often, right? So customers usually see what's the most popular thing that's out there and get at it without understanding what's happening behind the scenes. And that way, this somewhat gave a platform for customers to understand more about Trellix and appreciate how they are
Correct.
Trellix technologies are aligned. So that brings me to the next question: is like, what is the architecture that Trellix follows, and how what is that you want to say to Trellix customers or customers to be? What's the difference that Trellix does differently, which would not land them in a similar situation what they were?
I would say, like, enterprise architecture is different. When we test a new technology on 100 machines, 200 machines, 300 machines, that's not how enterprise handle it. So we need to also, when we develop a product, we need to understand how this is going to be deployed, how this is going to be architected on a 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 organizations, right? So that's very important. And the one thing any enterprise would want is a choice. The choice for the customers to operate it rather than pushing them into a certain direction. What we see now is like organizations more looking into, especially delivering it for cloud, which gives very less choice for the customers on how they operate it, how they update it. Now, if you look at from one angle, for a small organization, it's a good thing because they don't have enough IT staff, they don't have enough security staff. So if the vendor is managing everything, okay, that's a good part. But again, when you look at the enterprises, it's very risky for them not to have that choice to operate the technologies, right? So as Trellix, we want to make sure the customer has got the full control. They decide when to take the updates from them based on the criticality of the assets, based on the criticality of the update. They have the full choice to test it. They have the choice to roll out to a small amount of machines and analyze the risk before they fully adopt the update or a new product or anything, right? So choice is the first part. The second thing is about the responsibility which falls into all of us, right? It is with the customers to test the technology properly before they deploy, to make sure that there is a shared responsibility model, which one part is the customer, right? And also the responsibility for the vendors. The vendors also have responsibility to make sure that they do all the testing possibly they can on environments which their customer uses, and make sure that they do a foolproof testing before it roll out into production. And even at production, roll out into a smaller environment first before they go in for a global or a regional update. So it is about choice and responsibility when it comes to enterprise architecture. It's not how you operate a small organization or a small set of machines when you look at the enterprise architecture.
Right. So, what I found when further researching on the RCA was that how Trellix is like, the technologies itself are built in such a way that they do not intrude too much into the kernel mode. Rather, all the technology revolves on the changes, the daily updates that happen is more on the user level. So it is not very intrusive in that way, which is a lot of good thing for the technology updates that happen on a regular basis.
Yeah, it also kind of go more into the architecture and transparency, right? There is a lot of advantage of running things in the kernel mode, but
Correct.
if something is failing, that results on a blue screen of death, right? What we've seen. In the user mode, the users start to see a lot of processes running from us, so it creates a general feeling that there's a lot of utilization happening. And at the same time, if something fails in the user mode, the application fails, but you can always recover from it. It's not a good thing; it shouldn't happen. But if it happens, the application recover, and it's a minimum impact of it. Unlike the kernel mode, the only way to recover is to go into the machine, push in a CD or push in a hard button, and then recover it. So yes, it is. So you have to have the right balance. We do kernel updates, but on major updates once in a quarter, not on a daily basis when we need a bigger updates. But our kernel presence is much lesser, and our daily updates goes into the user space.
Fantastic. So moving on, I mean, the current challenge that customers have is a lot of threats out there and a lot of technologies to deal with. That leaves the customer with a lot of threat data that they have to deal with. Now, with the advent of last year everybody was talking about ChatGPT, and now every technology is trying their best at assimilating AI into their technologies to solve customer problems. So, what is the impact do you think that AI is going to have in cybersecurity?
Yeah. So AI is something which has been all around, right? So There is no discussion without AI. So, but AI and ML are not really new to cyber industry. For us, we've been using it for decades. When you have threats which has been seen, thousands of them on an hourly basis, there is no way human can look at it and classify a detection capability around it and respond to the customer. So we use multiple automated mechanisms built on ML and AI to do those responses. So from a threat detection point of view and response, that's the primary purpose of AI we've been using in the backend. What we see now, AI has been used heavily on the SOC efficiency. So we see how SOC, again, millions and millions of alerts coming in. How do a few people sitting in the SOC can respond to it, or how do they focus their full focus into a certain amount of high critical incidents rather than every alerts which come into the SOC. So those things, AI does a lot of help over there to improve the SOC efficiency. So our technologies, whether it's the XDR technology, SIM technology, all of them having more and more impact of the AI to make sure that the people who sit in the SOC only focus on the key incidents rather than a set of alerts. Now, generative AI is a big topic. So generative AI is the new trend. And we're also looking at how do we bring those closer to the user, because generative AI is more close to the user part. So when it comes to managing the alerts, when it comes to investigating an alert on a faster way, looking at different artifacts from different places, or even building a report, AI plays a big role, right? So most of our technology started to implement it. We call it Trellix Wise. These technologies coming into our email platform, XDR platform, our endpoint platform, so people can get a feel on how generative AI is making their life much more easier to do day-to-day operations.
So what you want to say is that Trellix Wise is already out, assimilated into all of the Trellix, most of the Trellix platforms today to deal with the alert fatigue that it might otherwise generate.
We released Trellix Wise in RSA earlier this year.
Fantastic.
And now it started to roll out to most of our tenants, so customers can start seeing different use cases from generative AI being used across our portfolio.
Okay. So I'll come back to this in a while, but just taking a little jump here on, because we're talking about AI and it happens to be mostly a cloud-related technology. And the trend in this region, how do you see the trend of cloud adoption in the region? And then I'll break it to the next question after that. What do you see happening in this region around the cloud?
Obviously, cloud, the adoption is slowing down a little bit. There was a huge spike during the pandemic, right? So that's the time when everyone was moving really fast really fast into cloud adoption. It's getting a bit more mature at the moment, because there was a set of organization which was more into the mid-market segment, and some of the big enterprises, especially in the financial sector, was moving into cloud at that time. But now it's a time for public sector, government organizations to look at more regulated cloud, more mature, thought process of moving into cloud. So we could see that a more rigid evaluation is happening at the moment about cloud adoption, right? We also see more international vendors coming into the region, which was announced. Some of them has come in, some of them are coming in the next 1 year, 2 years. So there are more choices, more mature choices for our organization for that cloud adoption. We all know it is not about the cost you move into the cloud. Sometimes cloud is more expensive than how you operate on-prem. So the organization need to take a right business decision and decide what is their use case which they can drive into cloud for more efficiency rather than a cost factor, and then they take the right decision. So to answer to that, cloud is going to be there. It is not going away. It is going to be the future. More of the innovation which we discussed around AI can be more implemented better in the cloud infrastructure with the massive amount of processing power it's got. But now it's a time for enterprises who has to take a real step back, look at the regulations, look at the privacy, look at the key information they handle, and then they take the right approach of moving into cloud.
Yeah, because right now the data sovereignty is something which is driving the cloud adoption in this region. That's the driving factor here. So definitely a lot of points to consider for enterprises. And jumping back now, when we talked about the AI question, right? So what's new with Trellix besides like how wise does the AI part? What else is happening at Trellix?
So Trellix has got a wide portfolio, right? So we kind of there in almost every part of cybersecurity. So you start with endpoint security, EDR, which is a big market still, right? So EDR market is growing really high. A lot of our customers are adopting our EDR, whether it's on cloud or on-prem or even at a very closed environments. We also looking at email vector attacks are not going away. Phishing attacks is there,
only
and it's
improvising.
yeah, it's keep evolving. With generative AI coming in, there is it's coming with better languages, so it is
Yeah.
there's no more spelling mistakes, spelling errors. So advanced email security is getting I'm not talking about normal anti-spam or email security, but again advanced sandboxing on emails is getting more prominent. Data protection, when people move into cloud and the control of data is moving much away from them, data protection is getting prominent. So we do have a wide range of data protection solutions, whether it's on the endpoint, whether it's on network, whether it's on encryption, whether it's on database. So data security is big portion. We play a lot on the network side when it comes to network security. So whether it's on advanced packet inspection or it's data center, on a intrusion prevention system on IPS on data center level. But how do you bring all of this together into an NDR platform, more of a network detection and response platform? And last but not least is the SecOps part. So SecOps, if you build all of these different controls and if you don't monitor, if you don't respond to attacks efficiently, the investment doesn't really help you. So our SecOps portfolio, whether it's on SIM, whether it's on XDR, they are powerful enough to empower the SOC to create an effective response against latest incidents. So yes, wide portfolio. We count close to 60 plus technologies in our portfolio.
Wow.
All of them really differentiates in terms of how it's implemented and how it creates value. There are some areas where we partner. For example, mobile security, we have a strong partnership with Simperium. So Trellix Mobile Security is we also announcing some key partnership very soon. So the areas which we don't cover directly as Trellix
Okay.
is covered through strong partnership with our SIA partners, which is
Yeah.
our integration partners.
Okay, fantastic. I mean, knowing McAfee and now FireEye and what's now Trellix, both these were giants by themselves, and now we have the DNA of two different giants coming together to become a bigger giant.
Yeah.
So something to look forward to. So thank you so much for all the insights that you had for us for the day. Pleasure having you with us on this booth. Is there anything that you want to add besides what we discussed? Or
No, it's a good talking to you. We went through a lot of different topics. I would more say people plays a big role in the whole of cybersecurity. Sometimes we underestimate it with all the technologies coming in, but we know that people are a key element. There is a shortage of talented people. We estimate close to 3 million
Yeah.
shortage of staff global when it comes to cybersecurity professionals.
Yes. Yep.
The cybersecurity industry is growing rapidly. We see it's reaching to a 400 billion market in the next 5 years. So there is massive potential in the cybersecurity market, and Trellix wants to play a big role in this one. But again, we also want to fill in the talent gap with rightly empowering people, all the way from straight from the university at a graduate program, and also to work with us at some point as in Trellix, right? So yes, it's a big market. It solves a lot of problem. It also is a good investment anyone can do in terms of empowering the society, to teach them about the good part of being part of a cybersecurity company. So yes, it's going to be interesting journey. It's going to be interesting next 3 to 5 years with all the evolution and revolutions happening in the space. So looking forward for this journey.
Sure. Thank you so much. All the best with that. and pleasure having you here with
Right.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you.